Welcome along to the essential oil series. Now we're going to talk about frankincense. Frankincense is another resin, okay? It's another oil which comes from the resin of a tree. And frankincense is really, like all resins, right? It's really interesting how it's collected in that they scale the tree in order for us to have the resin to then get the essential oil from. And in saying that, it is something that is prized, right? It's rare. You want to ensure that you've got sustainable supply. So therefore, you need to look after your trees so you can get it from a variety of sources. So frankincense is Boswellia. Now you can have a few different names after that, botanical name, but you'll see it, Boswellia. You'll see it in different things. I've got it in a lot of ranges of skincare. And then I've also got it in the essential oil, and I've got the resin. So there was a lady from the Greek Orthodox Church that gave me some of the resin. So frankincense is that stuff that they put in the chinker. I say the chinker because when I was growing up and we were sitting in church, that's what the priest would do. He'd walk up with the smoke, right? Now I walk around with smoke, a smudge and sage and all those sort of things. So I don't use my frankincense for that, but I could if I wanted to. But yeah, you can actually get the resin and a charcoal circle and light it up, and that will pop and crackle and smoke your house out. Frankincense is sacred, right? I've written, where do I begin? Again, it's another one of our magnificent oils. It's got a few different chemical constituents in it, so the components that make it up, that are really good for supporting the body, right? Cellular structure. Think of cellular cells. Think of vibratory energy. Think of connection to source, and also think of supporting your body. It is an immunostimulant. It's anti-cancer, so I'm going to give you some reference notes with this one for you to go research to your heart's content. But this is written so I can share this. There is so much research. You can actually just go Google it yourself. Go to PubMed, look for frankincense and cancer. It's going to bring you up a whole heap of stuff, right? So it's immunostimulant, anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, antidepressant, and it's restorative. Now, from the physical front, what does that mean for it? It boosts everything. Anything that is a resin, any essential oil which comes from a resin is going to boost whatever else you're using. So if you have immense pain and you use marjoram and lemongrass, you add your frankincense. Frankincense is going to boost it, right? I talked in the Copaiba video about using that spot at the base of your spine. I'll say it again. Base of your spine is like your nerve housing. You've got nerves up the top too. They do meet up the top, but that's like the central point. And it will allow the benefit to go to wherever you need it in your body. So physically it boosts everything. It's going to help you with pain, phenomenal for inflammation. Think about the story, right? Even if you're not religious, you'll most likely know this Christian story where baby Jesus was given frankincense, myrrh and gold. Frankincense is anti-inflammatory. Myrrh, which I'm going to talk about as well, which is a resin, it is also anti-inflammatory. Turmeric, they're saying, is the gold. Now that makes perfect sense to me because turmeric is also anti-inflammatory. You use those three together and you can get turmeric as an essential oil as well. Please make sure you get therapeutic grade, you know the spiel, right? I'm only talking about good stuff here. I'm not talking about cheap, commercial, cut, adulterated, whatever. I'm talking about really good therapeutic grade oil. You get all three of those two, frankincense, myrrh and turmeric. You've got your frankincense, your myrrh and your gold. You've got everything you need just in those three oils to help your body if you need physical support, right? So great for inflammation, fabulous for cellular function, fabulous for cellular restoration, amazing to get in there and help your DNA and your coding, right? On so many levels, physical and the metaphysical. Great for immune support. It's fabulous for anything to do with the mind, right? So I'll talk about this and I'm going to switch across to emotion and metaphysics in a minute. Fabulous for your skin. I forgot to mention that Copaiba is also great for wrinkles. Frankincense is also good for wrinkles too. So you can use it with your moisturizer. Put a drop in your hand and then put your moisturizer in that and just give yourself a bit of a boost, right? Men can use it, so can women. Men have skin too. It's great for your lungs, Frankincense is fabulous for your lungs. It's also really good for all the other organs in your body. But let's go back to the brain, right? So frankincense is the king of oils. They call it the king of oils. And it's got a really long history in terms of the Egyptians, the ancient pharaohs. They have found a bottle of essential oil, which was frankincense, in a tomb that they believe was like over 4,000 years old. And when they cracked it open, it was still good. So stored in the appropriate way, your essential oils can really last you a long time. It's just that you'll use them, that's all. So if we go to the mind, so that side of things is sort of a bit of a digression, but let's go to the physical mind first. For me, I put a drop of frankincense underneath my tongue every morning. If you don't want to do that, then you can also put your finger on the top of the bottle and then just put it on the base of your skull or on the top of your head. The reason I do that is because I value my brain. I value my mind. I value what comes from that. So I want to look after it, and I want to make sure that my mind doesn't race into the future and that I don't get those anxious feelings, right? Often when we talk about emotions and we talk about anxiety or any sort of emotion, but let's work with anxiety because I was an anxious person and sometimes I still am. So if you work with anxiety, you work out where you feel it. So for me, I would feel it up here. I would have a racing mind. I start to think of what ifs and all this sort of stuff happens. I build myself a fortress of concerns or whatever that makes me anxious, and I feel it up here. Sometimes I even get a headache, right? So that's rare now. But so I'm a mind person. Frankincense helps to calm my mind. Now, if you feel it in your heart, there is a different oil to work with that, but you can still work with frankincense. And if you feel it in your gut, which if you're Cancerian on star signs, you will feel stuff in your stomach. You're a crab. The underbelly of a crab is so soft, and that's where you experience your issues. And that's your tummy. That's your gut, right? And there's a different oil for that too. But you can use frankincense on all of them. But whenever you're experiencing an emotion, think about where you feel it, and then that's where you're going to use your oil. So for my mind, I put a drop under my tongue. But it is fabulous in terms of the health of the brain. Think about diseases of the brain, diseases of the brain. Think about brain illnesses. Think about brain injuries, those sort of things. And then when you do think about those, start to learn about ways that you can utilize frankincense to help to support cellular function and to really help the brain, help the cells in the brain, because our brain has cells in there too. The whole body is cells. They're all made up together. That's what comprises everything. So that's your brain, right? Physical brain. So think about anything to do with the brain and that central nervous system, and you might want to support your body with frankincense. And how do you do that? You use it every day. You can use it inhalation, so you can have it in your diffuser. You can just smell it. Smelling it puts it straight in. You can have it topically, so you can apply it. Frankincense, again, is a resin, so it's nice and gentle on the skin. But you would add a carrier oil because then that supports the absorption, and it also gives you greater coverage. And then you can use it internally. So you can pop it under your tongue, you can put in an empty veggie capsule. It's up to you. Metaphysically, I've written here, if only the whole world knew about frankincense and had access to it, to a really good supply of it, and knew how to use it, life would be so different. And it is in other blends, but just, if it was the one thing, when you're born, you're given a bottle of frankincense and automatically downloaded with how to use it, life would be different. It is the one oil that plugs you in and turns you on. So if you feel like you want a deeper connection when you do meditation, prayer, healing work, energetic work, you want to have greater capacity when you are in the corporate office even, use your frankincense and use it by putting it on the top of your head, or just have it diffusing with wild orange or something like that, or tangerine or something, or lime, zest for life. It's just fabulous for switching you on. What it does is it gives you a greater connection to divine, to source, to spirit, to God, to whatever word works for you, right? Mental calmness and ease, clarity and flow of thought and intuition, total connection. Now, frankincense is the father oil, works on the masculine side. If you find that you have perhaps had issues with relationships with your father, then you may need to work with frankincense a little bit more than someone that doesn't. And this is on emotional healing. For me, I didn't like the smell of frankincense. Absolutely hated it when I first got it, but I needed to use it. I needed it for the physical side of things. I needed it to help my cells repair, to help my body become what it is now, and to really help me on that side. And as a coincidence, it helped with my own emotional journey and my own emotional healing, but also then helped with the whole spiritual connection and that side of stuff. It is your crown chakra oil. So it's top of your head. Awesome oil. Okay, so everybody needs frankincense. Everybody needs so many of these things. But anyway, everybody needs frankincense. It comes from the resin. I've already told you all about it, and I'll make sure that I share some links with you. But you can go do your own research too. And it is definitely a very important oil. And I'll see you in the next video.